Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's true birthplace, Sri Nabadwip, or Mayapur. Whether the supreme lord of the theists and the great revolutionary of the atheists, Sri Gauranga, manifested his divine appearance within Nabadwip, which lies in Nadia district, or in Mayapur, has become a profound historical question. Yet prior to the latter half of the 18th century, no such controversy existed. Nabadwip was universally recognized by all Gaudiya Vaishnavas as the sacred birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The dispute arose only when Kedarnath Dutta, deputy magistrate under the British government, and later renowned as Bhaktivinoda Thakur, refused to accept the present town of Nabadwip as the birthplace of Sri Gauranga. In support of his stance, he cited the Vaishnava scripture Bhakti-ratnakara, composed in the first half of the 18th century, which refers to ancient Nabadwip, or the site of Sri Gauranga's appearance, as Mayapur, situated on the eastern bank of the Ganges. He therefore identified it with the Muslim-inhabited locality then known as Mayapur, or Mayapur, lying within the Bamanpukur Musa adjacent to Balaldigi. In doing so, Bhaktivinoda Thakur endeavored to conflate the Mayapur, mentioned in Bhakti-ratnakara, with this particular Muslim quarter called Mayapur. This position was vehemently opposed by the residents of Nabadwip Dham and by his own revered guru, Sri Vipin Bihari Goswami, who ultimately excommunicated him from the line of discipleship. This is a letter from the disciple lineage of Sri Vipin Bihari Goswami, dated 1999, which explains once again why Bhaktivinoda's Mayapur is false, and why he was disregarded from the Nityananda Parivar lineage by his own Gurudev, Sri Vipin Bihari Goswami. In the following 10 points, we shall examine both logically and historically how far Bhaktivinoda Thakur's claim that the so-called Mayapur is Mahaprabhu's birthplace is supported by evidence, and how markedly it differs from the Mayapur described within the sacred text as lying inside Nabadwip. 1. If Mayapur were indeed Mahaprabhu's birthplace, why did the great Vaishnava saints who preceded Kedarnath Dutta, alias Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the foremost among them being Vaishnava Sarvabhauma, Totaram Das Babaji, and Maharaja Bhagyachandra of Manipur, invariably come to the present Nabadwip and establish Gramdakras and the principal temple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there? Why was no such initiative ever undertaken in Mayapur if it were truly the Lord's birthplace?
It is important to note that the place of bhajan, meditation, sadhan and worship of Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was in Nabadwip, not in Mayapur. The story of Sita Jagannath Baba dancing with Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Mayapur is only found in Gaudiya Math and therefore in ISKCON. In the ancient biographies, including those from the Nityananda Parivar, the lineage that Sita Jagannath Baba belonged to, this story is not found anywhere. Common sense suggests that this story is fictitious. The same applies to other Sita Gaudiya saints, such as Sri Gauranga Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Radha Raman Charan Das Dev, and many other contemporaries. Additionally, Siddha Mahatmas from that time only worshipped Nabadwip as the birthplace of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Among them are Sri Vijay Krishna Goswami, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Sri Ananda Majima and others. None of them believed Bhaktivinoda Thakur's stories, and many of them left their bodies in Nabadwip, none in Mayapur.
2. The wooden deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, personally served by his divine consort Vishnupriya Devi, is mentioned even in the earliest biography, Murari Gupta's Kaja, Prakasarupena Nija Priyaya, Swarupamasādhya Nijam, Hi Murtim Vidhaya Tasya Sthita Eva Krishna Salakshmi Rupa Nisevate Prabhum. Translation. In the form of light, the beloved's true form was manifested. Placing her image in the month of Masada, Krishna remained there, and Lakshmi, in the form of the goddess, serves the Lord. This same deity, along with the wooden sandals, Paduka, gifted by Mahaprabhu to Vishnupriya Devi, continues to be worshipped with undiminished glory in the Sri Mandira of Sri Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, in present-day Nabadwip. Notably, the original westward-facing temple, standing adjacent to the current Mahaprabhu temple, was constructed by Totaram Das Babaji long before the Mayapur controversy arose, and it still stands today. Why did no comparable institution or worship ever develop in Mayapur? Sri Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu in Nabadwip. Three. We now come to the change in the course of the Ganges, which lies at the very root of this controversy. The biographies of Sri Chaitanya clearly indicate that during Mahaprabhu's time, Nabadwip lay on the eastern bank of the Ganges, whereas present-day Nabadwip stands on the western bank. This apparent contradiction is resolved by the well-documented shift in the river's course. That the Ganges once flowed along the western side of Nabadwip is proven beyond doubt by the following fact. If the present Nabadwip had not lain on the western bank of the Ganges in earlier times, it could never have been part of the zamindari of the Rajas of Krishnanagar. Instead, it would have belonged to the Bardhaman zamindari, because the ancient westward-flowing Ganges served as the natural boundary between Nadia and Bardhaman districts. This ancient western channel of the Ganges is known as the Bhagirathi Khad. In the asterisk Anadamangal Kavya, poet Bharat Chandra, while describing the boundaries of Maharaja Krishna Chandra's kingdom, explicitly states, Rajer Uttarasima Murshidabad Pasime Sima Ganga Bhagirathi Khad. Translation: beyond the northern boundary of the king's territory is Murshidabad, and to the west is the Ganges River. 4. It is recorded that the devout Diwan Ganga Govind Singh, descendant of the Kandy royal family and Diwan to Warren Hastings, constructed a magnificent black stone temple at Mahaprabhu's birthplace and resolved to install Sri Dhameshwar there. When the then servitors of Sri Dhameshwar refused consent, he instead established 4 deities with their temples at that very site: Sri Gopinath, Sri Govinda, Sri Krishna Chandra, and Sri Madan Mohan Jiu. Evidence of this is found in Kandiyo Paikpada Rajbansha Itihas, pages 19 and 29, and Territorial Aristocracy of Bengal, chapter 6, pages 6 to 7, which states, while recounting the history of the Kandi Raj family, Ganga Govind Singh built temples at Ramchandrapur, now Nabadwip town's Prachin Mayapur ward, at the exact spot near Nadia, where Gauranga, Chaitanya, is said to have been born. For the worship of Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Krishnaji, and Madan Mohanji on the first Agrahayana 119 BS5. Further confirmation of Ganga Govind Singh's temple, erected long before the Mayapur controversy, appears in the asterisk Calcutta Review of 1846, published 1849. Page 423. Ganga Govind Singh erected a temple over 60 feet high, which was washed away by the river 25 years ago. It was at Ramchandrapur and supplied food to many fakirs and Vaishnavas pilgrims. 6. The Shakta Ras Festival of Nabadwip. The Shakta Ras Festival of Nabadwip was instituted at some point between 1740 and 1756. From the era of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu onward, the ascendancy of Vaishnava Dharma in Nabadwip steadily grew, while the royal patronage of Shakta practices gradually waned. It must be remembered that Nabadwip had long been a premier center of tantric sadhana. In this altered religious landscape, the adherents of Shakta doctrine sought the protection of Raja Krishna Chandra of Nadia. Acting on the counsel of the tantric adept Brigu, Krishna Chandra directed the priests to conduct worship of the Shakta deities within their own residences on the day of Ras Purnima. The pivotal question now arises: why, under the explicit orders of Maharaja Krishna Chandra, did the Shakta Ras festival commence specifically in Nabadwip Dham? Had Sri Chaitanya's birthplace truly been in Mayapur, logic would dictate that the festival should have originated there. Did Maharaja Krishna Chandra then labor under a mistaken understanding of Sri Chaitanya's Janmasthana as Nabadwip? Incidentally, the present locality of Ramchandrapur is today celebrated as the ancient Mayapur quarter within the modern town of Nabadwip. Contemporary records also attest to the renovation of the temple erected by Ganga Govinda Singh, directly over Sri Chaitanya's birthplace, as reported in the weekly newspaper Samachar Darpan of 1820. In this very connection, the distinguished historian Sir Jagannath Sarkar observed, in a letter published on the 4th of February 1932, dated the 4th of February 1932, 185, Mohanlal Street, Calcutta, 4th February 1932. From a study of the pamphlets issued by Babu Braj Mohan Das on the actual position of that quarter of Nabadwip, in which the Saint Chaitanya was born, it seems to be a strong case. for giving finality to the settlement of the question by locating the now-fallen temple of Dewan Ganga Govind Singh. The excavation of this site, where this temple is said to lie buried, is a work of the deepest concern to Bengali Vaishnavas, and in view of the antiquity and importance of the building, I feel that the Archaeological Department would be justified in declaring it a protected monument and permitting its excavation under its supervision, if private funds are forthcoming for the purpose. 7. In the pada composed by Udbhav Das, a contemporary lyricist of Mahaprabhu, concerning the Qazi Dal and Laila, clear evidence emerges that Mahaprabhu's birthplace lay at no great distance from the residence of Vishnupriya Devi. It was situated somewhere in the heart of Ramchandrapur, in the northwest of present-day Nabadwip. This same proximity is subtly indicated in the Qazi Dal and Laila section of the Chaitanya Bhagavata. Vishnupriya Devi's birthplace remains perfectly preserved to this day in Malanchapara of Nabadwip. Gauranga's own house is understood to have stood perhaps half a mile away. Vide Udbhav Das's pada. The relevant verses run as follows. On the day Gaurahari subdued the Qazi and traversed the length of Nabadwip, crossing the 4 Ghats, passing through Ganganagar village, thereafter to the exquisitely adorned reservoir. At that very reservoir, Chand Qazi made his abode. Shamulia is the name of that hallowed place. Having subdued the Qazi, Gaurahari with his devotees proceeded in the southern direction. Intoxicated with Sankirtana, conch and tempura sounding, the two wandered in sublime ecstasy. From Sridhar's house through Gadigacha and Majida, westward to the locality of Paradanga. North of that, passing the house of the Raja Pandit, he gladdened the throng of devotees with boundless joy. A short distance to the northwest, upon the southern bank of the Ganges, Gaurahari returned to his own dwelling. To the north lies his personal ghat. Eastward of it, Madai's ghat. Hard by stands Srivasa's courtyard. In its northeastern corner is the ghat called Barakona, which is none other than Shuklambar's ashram. A little further north rises the Nagaria Ghat precinct. North of that lies Ganganagar village. This song of the town procession was composed by this humble-minded Udbhav to purify his own understanding. 8. Mahaprabhu's marriage to Vishnupriya Devi. Should the so-called Mayapur, championed by the Mayapur advocates, indeed be accepted as Mahaprabhu's birthplace or residence, a further irreconcilable historical contradiction immediately surfaces. This time concerning the account of Mahaprabhu's marriage to Vishnupriya Devi, as recorded in the authentic Chaitanya Charitas, notably the Chaitanya Bhagavata. There we find that when Mahaprabhu proceeded to marry Vishnupriya Devi, he was not required to cross the Ganges at all, indicating that the two households stood within the same neighborhood. Vishnupriya Devi's birthplace remains intact in Malanchapara of Nabadwip. Were the present Mayapur to be taken as the birthplace, Mahaprabhu would necessarily have had to cross the river for the marriage ceremony, an assertion wholly at variance with the Chaitanya Bhagavata's description. If we designate Vishnupriya Devi's birthplace as point A, then in its Vayukona, northwest, at point B, stood Gauranga's house, an alignment explicitly corroborated by Udbhav Das's pada. 9. The Chaitanya Bhagavata contains vivid descriptions of numerous localities of contemporary Nabadwip, several of which, such as Gadigacha, Paradanga, and Majida, still exist under the same names today. Vrindavan Das Thakur has delineated these areas with unmistakable clarity. Yet why is there not a single mention of the Mayapur that ISKCON and the Gaudiya math insist was the Lord's birthplace? It strains credulity to suppose that so meticulous and divinely inspired an author as Vrindavan Das Thakur would have omitted so crucial a detail. Nor is the Chaitanya Bhagavata alone in this silence. In no authentic Chaitanya Charita, not even in the Oriya texts, is there the slightest trace or even a whisper of Mayapur as Mahaprabhu's Janmasthana, 10 Bhakti Ratnakara. As for the Mayapur described in the 18th century Bhakti Ratnakara, it bears no relation whatsoever to the present-day Mayapur or Mianpur. The site currently designated Mayapur, lying south of Baladigi, was during Mahaprabhu's time essentially a Shudra settlement and could never have served as the birthplace of the Lord. who took birth in an exalted Brahmin lineage. The Mayapur of the Bhakti Ratnakara is merely an alternative name for Mahaprabhu's own residence within present Nabadwip, not a separate locality. The author himself makes this explicit. Within Nabadwip lies a place called Mayapur, where the divine Gaurachandra accepted his abode in exact accordance with truth. Thus the Mayapur of the Bhakti Ratnakara is situated squarely inside Nabadwip itself, and cannot be conflated with the modern site. References: Kandi o Paikpara Rajbanshar Itihas, pp. 19 and 29, and Territorial Aristocracy of Bengal, Chapter 6, pp. 6 to 7, in its account of the Kandi Raj family. Ganga Govind Singh built temples at Ramchandrapur, now the ancient Mayapur area of Nabadwip town, at the exact spot near Nadia where Gauranga, Chaitanya, is said to have been born, for the worship of Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Krishnaji, and Madan Mohanji on the first Agrahayana 119 BS.